Welcome to Today in Prophecy, our daily news in 15 minutes or less. And we are here the 9th of Av, this year, August 12 and 13. And if you know the history of the 9th of Av, that is, it's a reminder of the two times that the previous temples were destroyed in Jerusalem. The first temple was destroyed by the Babylonians on the 9th of Av. Second temple was destroyed by the Romans also on the 9th of Av. And Iran has been threatening Israel to come against them on the 9th of Av, a bad day in Israel's history. But as of right now, this has not yet happened, but we have a lot of news to cover. We'll get to some of the Israel news in a few minutes, but let's start here because we need to pay attention to exactly what is going on worldwide right now. And this article comes out of the Telegraph, Schools to Wage War on Putrid Fake News and Anti-Extremism Crackdown. Listen to this. Children will be taught how to spot extremist content and fake news online in a revamp of the curriculum following last week's riots. Schools will use lessons such as English, information and communication technology and math to arm pupils against putrid conspiracy theories, the education secretary has said. Bridget Phillipson told the Telegraph that pupils as young as 5 would be given the critical thinking skills to identify misinformation online under the new plans. I want you to think of this. Their political or critical thinking tools, wait a minute, no. All critical thinking is going to be removed, so they won't have the ability to think outside of what they are being told to think. In other words, this echo chamber is being formed right now. It's been being formed for a long time. It's against anybody who is critically thinking and saying, wait a minute, we have a problem. Listen, this reminds me of a time of burning the books, all information that opposes the powers that be, that oppose the government. By the way, join me this, wait a minute, it's in a few weeks out. It's the first weekend in September, is September 6 and 7. Pastor Brandon Holthouse, Tip of the Spear Ministry, is hosting a conference in Woodland Hills, California. It's near Los Angeles. It's going to be absolutely terrific. It's the Geopolitical Ramifications Conference. The things that are going on in this world right now. So we look at this. Going on in the UK right now, folks, we have to pay attention. We have one of the leaders of the police over in England shared it with you the other day over in UK saying, hey, we will extradite people from America and have them arrested if we have to, if they are saying critical things about us over here, about what we are doing with the crackdown. Listen, they are wanting to control the narrative. It's been taken to another level, and I'm telling you, you better pay attention. Join us for Pastor Brandon's conference coming up just a few weeks out, September 6 and 7. You can check out the events page, and you can go to the link there and get all the information you need. But you look at this, what's going to, they're going to tell children in the UK how to spot dangerous conspiracy theories. In other words, anybody who uses this book, the Bible, people who are talking about the truth. I have some friends over in the UK that talk about the truth, that bring the truth over there. So now you're threatened because you talk against climate change. By the way, that's one of the big ones. You talk about climate change, you say, amongst other things, and you're saying that if you're not going along with it, I want you to put it into this package of understanding. Hitler controlled the youth. He didn't care about the older generations. He had already lost them because as you're older, you have a frame of reference of the way everything is supposed to be. You have the ability to question. You've lived some years, and you know the way things are supposed to look. Hitler didn't care about the older generation. He had already lost them. So what he did is although some of the older people went along with him for other reasons, but what he did is he targeted the youth. In fact, did you know that he shut down the Boy Scouts? The Boy Scouts were healthy. In Germany, in 1933, check this out. He shuts down the Boy Scouts, and in 1933, his Hitler Youth went from 50,000 to 2 million in 1933. So shut down all youth, get rid of the thinking that doesn't go along with this government. Now we know it's a global government that is building. And why is this now happening in the West? I believe because Antichrist is going to be rising out of the West. So the West is now being prepared for that kingdom to come about. But think of that. It's going after the youth. Think of what's happened in the schools within the United States of America. We think of all the wokeism, the brainwashing that has been happening. And then if you start thinking about the older people that are going along with it, how complicit could you be? The brainwashing of children, the brainwashing of youth, telling them you are learning to critically think, actually not. It's exactly the opposite. What is really happening, you're told you can only think like we tell you to think. Anything outside of that is not acceptable. So we watch what is happening right now, and I am telling you folks, we better be paying attention and we better be alert to what is taking place. Check this out. Also, UK, tech giants will be forced to ban fake news under Labor plans. Tech companies will be forced to ban fake news from their platforms under plans being considered by the government in the wake of the riots. So, and so this is just more of that same thinking. Control the youth, control their minds. We will get them all on our side. They will turn the youth against the parents. Reminds me of 2 Timothy chapter 3. But also here with the tech giants, they're going to have to go along with what we are telling them. Wow. Zuckerberg admitted when it came to previous things with the elections from before, they were part of the manipulation of the information that we were getting and at the pressure from the government. So this pressure is only going to increase. Elon Musk has been threatened with arrest. Over in the UK, you look at this and you go, why? Because he is pushing back against these things. Folks, we need to wake up and see what is happening now. And what are they doing it? They are saying this is fake news. This is conspiracy theory. This is madness. No, what they are doing is they are twisting everything to say things like this. Well, this isn't true. You can't be talking about this. You can't speak against what we are telling you. What we really want is your peace. No, what they want is to subdue us. We start thinking of the rider on the white horse. Revelation chapter 6. What do we have? Conquering and to conquer. He has a bow, but no arrows. He's not going to use conventional weapons like we think of, but he's going to be able to conquer the people without using bullets and missiles. And you start looking at this and you go, man, you can start to see. Think back over the last 4.5 to 5 years and the things that have been going on now. We think forward to Agenda 2030 that these people have, and we see things moving along. And right now, the UK is the epicenter of these things that are taking place. And I'm telling you, these things are coming to a city near you. And so many different dynamics. Let's move on. More to talk about. Get this. Western Journal, Olympics president says, we would screen out men if science could tell men and women apart. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. No doubt. This will make, you can't make this up this week. Science has a foolproof of telling whether whether someone is a man or a woman. Chromosomes. If they are XY, you're looking at a guy. Apparently that memo didn't make its way over to the office of International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach because he seemed to be a little more confused on the subject in recent comments. The comments came in response to Bach being pressed by a reporter on the female boxing controversy currently dominating Olympic discourse. And then we know the two finalists fighting for the gold are two men fighting for the gold of the women's boxing. You look at this, you go, this is just insane. But to actually have the president of the Olympics say, we would screen out men if science could tell men and women apart. So you see how the mind is being shaped, especially as these things are being told to the youth, and the manipulation and the madness. This is an adult. This is psycho. These people, they go under peer pressure. We're just going to say these things. Listen, let me tell you another dynamic in this. For example, with the climate lies, right? If you're older, you know every summer it gets hot, right? If you're in the desert, it gets hot. If you're in a place where it gets humid, it gets hot and humid. You know, you know those things in the winter. If you're in one of those areas where you get snow, it gets cold. These things happen every year. just like God said they were going to happen. The seasons are going to continue. But if you're young, you don't have the frame of reference to understand, listen, 50 years ago, I remember when it was a lot hotter one summer than it is right now. But you don't have that frame of reference. All you hear is, it's hotter than it's ever been before. And without living through the before years, you start to be manipulated in your mind, believing everything that you're told, telling you are critically thinking when actually it is exactly the opposite. All critical thinking tools are eliminated from you. And this story coming out from the president of the Olympics saying science can't tell a man and a woman apart is all part of the madness that is happening. And the reason why I believe it is totally spiritual is that things have to be changed. People have to be in a state of mind where when Antichrist comes on the scene, the people will receive Antichrist as the Christ. So it's this pressure, it's this preparation that's going. Jerusalem Post, let's move over to Israel. Losing control, Hamas's grip weakens as Gazan desperation grows. I'm telling you, Israel is going to finish the problem in Gaza shortly. It's almost done. And the attention is obviously shifting to the north. You have Iran using their proxies, Hezbollah. And so you have this huge problem that is in the north. It's bigger than the problem that they have in Gaza. But will Iran actually go head to head with Israel at this time? They could. I don't know. They keep threatening they're going to do it. Listen, by the time we're done with this, some could happen. But as of right now, Iran has not done that. Again, as I mentioned, we've reached the 9th of Av, but still waiting to see what Iran is going to do. I would think Iran more likely would want to do a sneak attack, but we are watching because it has been escalating. I still expect it to escalate, but to what extent right now, do not know. Will it be a time where Iran does some horrific things and Israel has to retaliate and just absolutely destroy things like the nuclear program with a missile from Israel or something like that into Iran? Will something like that happen? We'll wait and see. Will it be the destruction of Damascus? But things are definitely heating up right now. Okay, move on. Let's move on to something else. U.S. beefs up posture in the Middle East, warns an Iran-backed attack on Israel could come this week. So we know that the U.S. has sent a submarine over to Israel, and you look at this, and you're thinking, okay, what is going to happen? Again, this is just more evidence that we have not yet reached Ezekiel 38, because when Ezekiel 38 comes, the West is not going to be involved. U.S. will not be involved. They won't be sending submarines over to that area to come against Iran or even to threaten Iran, if the U.S. would even do anything. But right now, we still have all of these things escalating. And then also out of the Jerusalem Post, Israeli intel believes Iran will attack directly within days. So we look at these things, and that was from just the other day, but we look at these things. Again, we're at the 9th of Av. Everybody's on the edge. Listen, it's going to happen. We do not know when. I don't believe it's Ezekiel 38 yet. In fact, it can't be for various reasons, but everything is escalating. Listen, if you would like and subscribe and share this video, it helps us to combat lies with the truth as we seek to get the truth out there, especially as we watch what's going on in the UK, we watch what's going on in Israel, we see all of these different dynamics. Like, subscribe, share. Again, it helps us to combat the lies with the truth. News in 15 minutes or less today in prophecy. See you back here. Listen, later on today, 2 o'clock today, Pacific time, with Jeff Kinley, and then also back here tomorrow for Today in Prophecy. God bless you guys.